Hello, guys, and welcome back to Keeping It Real or Binging with Surya. I don't know, there's so many names now. Yeah, the name keeps changes every time, but we're back, baby. Roll the intro. And yes, we're back. I know it's been a while. There's been a break, because of unforeseeable circumstances, but we're back. Okay, we're back. So the last upload, which was Secret Invasion episode 1, right? I told I was going to be doing an episode breakdown, and we all know how that went because this is episode 1. To be fair, I did record episode 2 and episode 3, but they were quite bad. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not uploading this, so I didn't. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to start back in episode 4, and then there was like some stuff, so it didn't really happen. But now we're back. We're gonna be taking a look at the basically the full review on it, like how it went overall, right? So obviously the new addition that we have in the show was Amelia Clark. I mean, it was Gaia, Talos's daughter, who also played by Amelia Clark, right? So she was basically this character which everybody expected a lot from, like a lot of backstory, or a lot of they could have done a lot of things with characters based on her backstory and how she became the super scroll and all those stuff. But I think that they went down the route of the normal MCU route where they just freaking make them overpowered, and the story is not really explained properly. It's very loosely done, and it's not the best way to introduce or to explain the character. So if you guys don't know, she is Talos' daughter and she works under Gravik. And at the end, Gravik steals basically Nick Fury keeps a case full of the DNA of all the Avengers. And basically Gravik steals it and then uses it, and basically he and Nick Fury now both have no he and Gaia now both have the power of all the Avengers. So I'm pretty confused about that still, because now if she has the power of all the Avengers like Captain Marvel, Hulk, and every, is she the most powerful being in the world? Like other than Celestials and all, is she like the most powerful one? That's why I say it's not very the storytelling for Gaia, which I was pretty disappointed because I was really expecting a lot. They didn't really do it very well, didn't really introduce and explain the powers and the capability of her powers, which was sad, but it's Marvel, right? It's bound to happen. Another thing I wanted to talk about was Gravik. Gravik, if you guys don't know, is basically the main antagonist and the main villain of the whole show. And Gravik basically was in the first few episodes, they really set him up pretty well. Like I actually really liked how they set him up. But I don't know what the hell happened. Like over the course of the show, they just really stopped explaining much about him, and he just started becoming this classic MCU villain, which basically just started getting angry and just started doing things without really thinking about anything, just started throwing forces and try the sophisticated, ingenious, slick villain that we saw in episode 1, episode 2, over the episodes, just he just kind of lost it. Like I'm not really sure what happened with the storytelling about that, but Gravik, from this like really scary, gritty villain that we all like love, right? It just kind of lost it, like among the season. And I really wanted Gravik to be one of those top villains, but I don't know if he's gonna make it, like this. It was pretty bad, to be fair. And another thing I wanted to highlight on was basically Saber, right? Saber is basically this space high performance, very expensive space defense program that's where Nick Fury was. like after the blip, he was busy working on that, and after the show, he basically goes back there with his wife, right? But we didn't really get to see much of Saber at all, and especially this being a secret invasion, like it's supposed to be mainly quite a lot about him, but we didn't really see Saber much. Maybe we'll see it in the Marvels movie, but I'm not sure, right? Okay, so for the show in general, it's secret invasion, right? So basically, secret invasion in the comics, how it was portrayed in, it was basically the same. The Skrulls were all in living amongst the humans, and there was this huge reveal part of like, oh, this person is Skrull, the president is a Skrull. We saw Colonel Rhodes, aka War Machine, was a Skrull. Like, obviously, they all were captured and they were being controlled by the Skrulls. But in the comics, there was this huge reveal at the point where the Skrulls were going to take over. There was a huge reveal of who the Skrulls were, like who the Skrulls took over and who the which bodies the Skrulls took over, basically. And it was a really, really sick scene, and it was like very, very interesting to see. But the Skrulls basic in this show, like we all knew who the Skrull was, so there wasn't the whole element of being surprised. Oh shit, she was a Skrull. Yeah, we did have an element of, at the later like episode 5, episode 6, found out that Colonel Rhodes were all Skrulls. But I would have loved like episode 6 when the all the Skrulls were trying to fight humans. Then maybe suddenly there was a huge reveal of who the Skrulls were, like which body they took over. That would have been very interesting, but I guess the director wanted to make it in his own vision, which credits to him, he did. But not really a big fan of it because it was supposed to be this very gritty and thriller show that we have seen with Moon Knight and other templates in the past, like maybe Loki and all. But we didn't really get that much, if I'm being honest. I mean, we did, but then the later I was happy that the show ended where it ended, because the way I saw the show heading down trajectory, it was heading down to the classic MCU trash of basically bring in new characters, give them insanely overpowered powers, don't really explain how they work, don't really explain the storyline and the backstory a lot more. Just bring them in, just screw the whole thing up, which has been the MCU template for a while. And Secret Invasion was not that, but it was heading down that route as the episodes went on, right? So for the show in general, I think the show did a good job. Okay, not a good job, a decent job in the grittiness of it all. First 3 4 episodes were really good. Like the gritty part and the thriller was really showing, which is obviously what we want to see. But 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 it did, as I said, went down the whole MCU trash route. So I was glad it ended where it ended. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. I think they did the best that they could have. There was a lot more potential of explaining the stories of characters such as Gravik. We didn't really see much of his backstory and his background much. We saw his small conversation with Nick Fury, but that's hardly enough. If he's the main villain, we got to see more of like what made him the villain he is. Like that would make people appreciate the character more. But yeah, they could have explained Gaia, Gravik well, explained more what Nick Fury was actually doing post blip. There are a lot of things that could have been done, but it is what it is. The show is made. I think it's a solid 7 out of 10. It's nothing too bad. It's not as bad as Miss Marvel or any of those trash, but it's okay. It's okay. I was Samuel L. Jackson did a good job, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know if you guys like the show. Personally, I was not a huge fan of it. I had very high hopes, and they didn't really deliver. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Don't attack me for it, and let me know what you guys think. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.